Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is a little bit of an impromptu live stream, but because I had the day off from work, I wanted to go live and share something with you guys that I just saw earlier today. And I didn't call it breaking news because I'm honestly not sure whether it is truly breaking news or whether I'm just late to the party. But I do want to share this with you guys because I think that some of this might actually be helpful for many of you guys out there. So, one of the things that we all talk about in the comic book community is the cost of comics. And specifically, there's a lot of conversations around the cost of new comics. And I personally believe that that the price of comics is one of the cheapest forms of entertainment out there, right? And I say that because movie tickets are really expensive. I take my kids to the indoor playground, and that is not exactly cheap. Very few things are cheap these days, but comics, $4 or something like that for a comic book. A lot of people view it as being expensive because they harken back to the past in which books were 75 cents or much cheaper, right? I came around the 25-cent mark, the dollar mark, the 125, the 150. That was my range. So part of it is the absolute cost of the comic, and then others feel that the quality of the paper, the quality of the artwork, the quality of the writing is not commensurate with the dollar amounts that are actually being charged for comics. And again, I still feel that there is some wonderful new content that is being created that has fantastic artwork, fantastic writing. The idea that new comics are all trash is just not accurate. That's like saying all old stuff is all fantastic, and that too is not accurate. But I became aware of something earlier this morning that actually, to some degree or another, helps with this. And I want to talk about it in just a couple of moments. I see that a few people have popped into the chat, so I wanted to take a moment to say hello to some comic book soldiers that are hanging out with me this morning. Metarog is in the house saying happy MLK Day. Back to you, sir. It is good to see you. Geek Aficionado is in the house. How you doing, brother? Rob, greetings and salutations to you, my friend. JD is in here. How you doing, brother? Going to the movies is not cheap. Going to the movies is not cheap at all. And don't go to the movies hungry, right? Don't do that because you can lose a whole paycheck. No, I'm joking. Joe is in the house. Randy Resnake is in here. The Airman is here. Ariel, my man, Ace is in here. Greek Freak. It is good to see all you guys. And so just to kind of get everyone caught up, Comics and Beer, shout out to you. Just to get everybody caught up, I was talking a little bit at the beginning of the live stream about how I personally feel that new comics aren't that expensive in comparison to other forms of entertainment, like going to the movies, because someone was just suggesting that I do that. So that's like on the top of my mind. Taking my kids to an indoor playground is super expensive. Going out to dinner is super expensive. So I think that there's a combination of things that are kind of at play for people. I think that people are contrasting the $4 price, if you will, of comics to when they used to be 75 cents or cheaper, or $1 or $1.25 or $1.50, whatever it is. And then there's also the quality aspect, right? Whether you're talking about the paper, the writing, or the artwork, a lot of people feel that those things are not commensurate with the dollar amount. And I mean, heck, we pay what, $3 almost for a cup of coffee, depending upon where you go. And don't go to a food coffee shop because it can be even more money. But I've said all of that to basically say that when I become aware of things that will actually help people, I want to raise the flag. And so I became aware of something earlier this morning. I did not call it breaking news because I just may be late to the party, but I wanted to raise the profile for you guys who have budgets, that have families, that have responsibilities, that want to read new comics, but don't necessarily want to spend the money on something to figure out whether it's good or not, right? Because that's an expensive proposition to buy things and you're not quite sure. And then the challenge is you don't buy it right away because you're not sure if it's good, and then you miss the boat. And this is fresh on my mind because of the conversation that we had last night about House of X and Powers of 10, and the foundational nature of those two books that lend themselves to the future of the X-Men. So I want to get to my point. I don't want to belabor it anymore to make it really long for people to watch this thing back on the replay. But this morning, I actually became aware of this. Comixology is actually offering right now free access to 20,000 comics on their website. I actually want to expand this. You guys can actually see it. This was actually an alert that I saw, or an ad, sponsored ad on Instagram, because you guys know I'm a fan of Instagram. So I'm scrolling through this morning and I basically see that you can get access to 20,000 digital comics, graphic novels, manga from DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse, and more through Comixology. And Comixology is an Amazon company. And so you have the ability to actually try Comixology Unlimited for free for 30 days. And so the question becomes, how fast of a reader are you? But I thought this was a pretty sweet deal. And to be honest with you, I actually didn't even know what the cost of Comixology was on an ongoing basis, but you can see here underneath the alert, if I can make it bigger, it's basically $5.99 or $5.99 per month after 30 days. I'm going to sign up for this. Let me restate. I have signed up for this and I'm going to cancel it potentially on the 29th day. Because you can't have a subscription to everything, to the point that we were just making. You have to be selective about your comics and your streaming services, as well as your digital reading platforms. And right now I have the year subscription to Marvel Unlimited. And so I don't know that I need two, that being Comixology Unlimited as well. But you have to have an Amazon account. Super simple one when I actually went in to do mine, because I actually have an Amazon account. So I was able to, within literally 2 minutes, get signed up. I immediately got an alert once I selected my debit card, my PayPal debit card, which is attached to my comics. I immediately got an alert that they had charged the card. So I looked at that and it basically came back 000. So it was just a signal that they had connected my account in this service. So again, if I cancel it before the end of the 30 days, I should be fine. But you can see here that they have some exclusive member discounts, 10 to 15% off of various books that are being offered. Unlimited reading. This is the thing that was most interesting to me. Of course, the discount's great. Anywhere you go, great. The unlimited reading, where you have an ability now to actually dig into a lot of these titles that maybe you've missed, or maybe that you've always wanted to read. It's a great opportunity to check it out. And I may actually do a video on this at some point. I want to say that Marvel Unlimited actually has 25,000 comics in its database. And so it appears that Comixology is actually a little smaller at roughly 20,000. But my feeling is also that the mix is probably different, because I don't know that Marvel Unlimited has manga, for example. They certainly don't have DC and Dark Horse like Comixology does. So Marvel has 25,000, Marvel Unlimited, 25,000 comics, if I remember, all Marvel stuff. And so they are not necessarily the same, which I think is actually a good thing. I think it's actually a good thing. So let me see what you guys are talking about here. What is this? Regie comics are more of a personal form of entertainment. Going to the movies is more of a group form of entertainment. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I exactly agree with that, right? Because unless you know the group, it's still an individual experience that you are having, right? And if you look at what we do with comics, where we actually have YouTube channels that are dedicated to comics, is that not also a group experience to some degree or another? So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. To be completely honest, they are both forms of entertainment. The same way you can go out to dinner and you can sit in a crowded restaurant and be completely and utterly isolated isolated and alone. I don't know whether group or individual is at play here, that's my opinion. That's definitely my opinion. So at the end of the day, the good thing here is that we have an ability to access 20,000 comics for 30 days for free from Amazon. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. So if you're interested, you definitely want to head over to the Amazon channel and check it out. I'm actually going to try to put the link in the description, but I will try to give it to you guys right now. Let me throw this share back up on screen so that you guys can actually see it. That way, I think it will actually help, but you hopefully can see that. Let me see. I think you can see it up there. The URL is basically comiXology.com/unlimited. comiXology.com/unlimited. As I mentioned, I will try to put it in the description of the video so that you guys can actually access it. And again, 30 days free access to 20,000 comics from multiple publishers canceled on the 29th day and owe nothing. or keep it and still have great access. What is this, man? My man, Super Honorable Nephew, is checking out the bookends back there. Definitely a really, really awesome AOK from a subscriber back there. Though the bookends he's referring to right here, one Spider-Man and Venom on the other side. You can actually see Venom's hand coming through the wall. Such a dope book in setup. I am definitely appreciative of that. So let me scroll to the room here. I think the point could be you may go to a movie with a group, but how often are you reading with another person? It depends. It depends. If you're reading digitally, depends. I mean, there's actually book clubs. Is that not a group thing? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how whether one person is enjoying that particular thing makes a difference in what we're talking about in terms of the cost associated with forms of entertainment. I'm not sure how we really got down that path, but we are. Let me see what else you guys are talking about. Hydra, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. I see you putting up all that good stuff on the Instagram. Congrats on the Fantastic 448 2.5. I think that's what I saw a few moments ago. Definitely a really cool book. Master Blaster, how you doing, brother? Rob Boswell is saying he has Comixology and it's nice. I am actually going to try to experience it a little bit later today. I signed up for it and then I had to make breakfast for kids and that kind of stuff. So I haven't even had a chance to play around with it, but I actually will. Oh, now he's talking about it. It's funny. I was just on Instagram looking at it, brother. And Take the Only Out, FF48 2.5. Dope book. Take the Only Out, my friend. Take it out. There you go. You guys are awesome. You guys, nobody should feel bad for having a pretty awesome book. First thing I read on Comixology was David Walker's Power Man and Iron Man from 2015. Immediately went and found it in the LCS. I actually do the same thing, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. Greek Freak is raising a really good point here. I actually do the same thing. I will go and read a digital comic online, and then I'll actually go buy the comic, right? So I was on Marvel Unlimited, for example, during the Christmas break, and I actually read Torch, right? The Torch book that I showed you guys in a couple of videos recently. I actually read it digitally. Then I was like, this is a dope comic. I need to have the hard copy. So I went and actually got the hard copy of the comic. And so I think digital is a good way. There are so many other books that I've read digitally where I'm like, it was a good read, but it's not worth adding to the PC. That, again, is one of the great things about some of these online services. You have the ability to dip the toe in the water. I mean, I actually went and started reading Amazing Spider-Man from the very beginning, issue number 1. Yes, I have it, but I was literally reading issue after issue, starting from issue 1. I went back and read the entire first 6 issues of Incredible Hulk. I recently read some Avengers stuff. I mean, I've read Marvel Comics 1. I've gone back and read a lot of that really old stuff that I will probably never, ever be able to buy, but I was able to read it, which I think is really cool. So James Tomlinson, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, my friend. Scrolling down through some of the names here. Rob, you are a nut, bro. You are a nut. I love this guy. He's like $2 for the Gibbon Gangs. Bro, I was actually looking at custom painter's tape literally yesterday night. I was like, I gotta see if I can find it, right? You never know. You never know, because the part of the problem is that there's a lot of it out there, right? A lot of painter's tape stuff that is unfortunately not the same quality as 3M. So I want to try to find it if I can, where there's actually 3M quality. And then, yes, I know that 3M stuff is like patented and all that kind of stuff, but I want to get it close to that, right? Because I can't be like, hey, painter's tape is dope, doesn't leave any residue on your bags, and then I come out with a version of the painter's tape that actually leaves residue, right? So I have to find something that will actually work. It's going to take some time, but I am I'm not going to say I'm committed to it. I am exploring the possibilities. Matt Woods is like, I almost never read my paper copies of comics. I read a lot of them online, as do I, right? Because I actually read a lot in bed at night and things like that, or I'll read when my kids are still up, and having paper comics is just dangerous, because I don't want to trap myself back here in the room. I actually want to be out with the family, and reading on an iPad is a really good way to go. So is Marvel Unlimited cheaper than Comixology? I don't know how much Marvel is, honestly, per month. I pay annually. So let's see if we can find it. Marvel Unlimited. Let's see if I can actually find it real quick. And I may actually do a comparison video of the two services at some point. So here, let me see if I can share my screen with you guys real quick. And again, Rob Boswell, thank you, bro, for the super chat. Actually, it means a lot. So thank you for that. Let's see if I can go ahead and share my screen with you guys. So I did a quick Google search here real quick. And let's see what we can see. I think that thing just said $5. So unlock the Marvel Universe, enjoy access to over 25 digital comics for only $9.99 per month. There you go. So $9.99 per month. Let's click on this thing and see what it tells us. It doesn't give us anything, because one of the things actually just said $5. Okay, here we go. So there's some plans. So the most popular is monthly, which is $9.99 per month. You can save $50 by doing the annual plan. Let me make this bigger. Let me make sure you guys can actually see this. Make sure you can see. Yeah, you can see that. So here you can see that you can save $50 by doing the annual plan for $69. Basically $5.75 times 12, right? That's how they get it to the 69. And then there's the new exclusive kit, and this is an annual purchase of $99. And I'm guessing that keeps your cost at what, $825 for 12 months. And I'm guessing there's some bonus stuff that you get. But this is the one that I've been using consistently, probably for 2 years now. I want to say I've had Marvel Unlimited for about 2 years. So this looks like the exclusive kit that you get if you go with the other version. I don't know what all those are. I'm guessing it's Deadpool figure of some sort. I don't really know what this box is. It looks like some kind of X-Men related accoutrements, maybe a lapel pin or something like that. Oh, here we go. Maybe if I just scroll down. So it's a limited edition Hasbro Marvel Legends Deadpool, which is cool. A Cyclops Scotty Young pin, 2 variant comics. They are the House of X 1 and 2. It's a connecting variant. And then there's an X-Men patch. An X-Men patch right here. Looks like it's embroidered. As I look a little bit closer, it looks like an embroidered patch. And then there's some additional benefits. There are some things that you get with Marvel Unlimited, like these digital points, which I have not looked into, to be honest with you. I've accumulated a crazy ton of these points, and I have no clue how to do anything with them. So, but again, Marvel Unlimited, definitely more expensive than Comixology, but there's also a reason for that. there is also a reason for that. It is the Jeff Bezos philosophy of undercutting the competition so as to dominate, right? So that's part of the reason why Comixology is an Amazon company, and so they have super deep pockets, and they can afford to put things out there super cheap. But yeah, I think if you're reading mostly Marvel stuff, Marvel Unlimited's not a bad way to go. The annual plan's not a bad way to go. Save yourself $50. But if you're a person that has a more a diverse reading style, the Comixology could be a good option. But again, what we are talking about here is being able to access Comixology's 20,000 comics for free for 30 months. And again, these comics are DC, Marvel, Image. All you have to do is go to comixology.com/unlimited. I discovered this earlier today and definitely wanted to kind of share with you guys. So scrolling down through some of the comments here. But yeah, Greek Freak is like, okay, it's more expensive, but probably gives access to more Marvel books. Yeah. So if you think about it, Comixology has 20,000 books that are available, but those are comics, graphic novels, and manga. And then they're actually spread across multiple publishers. So Marvel, DC, I think they said Image and Dark Horse, and then more is what it said. So fewer books spread across more publishers, spread across different types of reading material, whereas Marvel is straight comics from Marvel. Let me restate that: straight Marvel, but graphic novels and floppies. And so just depends on what you're trying to do. Florence, how you doing? It is good to see you. Shout out to all of the women that follow the channel. We have reached a new high of 7.5% of all subscribers are actually women. There's a healthy number, about 30% of people that watch videos on the channel that are actually not subscribers. So I'm not sure what the makeup of that is, but of the subscribers, 7.5% of them are women, which is incredible growth. If you remember, I think I was at like 1% at one point, but it went up to like 3, and then it just took off, and we're sitting at about 7.5. My guess is that that's going to continue to fluctuate as more guys and women coming in and out of the channel, but definitely a positive trend that gives me a whole lot of comfort. Gino's like, I still prefer physical. I love looking at my collection and just flipping through titles. I use the app or digital copies when I'm away at times. Yeah, I mean, as do I. I am a collector, right? But there are also books like I was talking about a second ago that I'll probably never own. And some people, instead of reading digital, would actually go out and get the I can't remember the term now, but the reprints of those comics, whereas I don't really buy reprints. So it's a little bit different, but I think one of the great things about this hobby is that we all find something that actually works for us, that actually makes sense. And that's perfectly okay. But I like bagging and boarding and sorting and organizing my collection and putting labels on things. I enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get where you're coming from, Gino. Definitely get where you're coming from, brother. Ellipse Collectibles is in the house. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Matt Woods is like, if you want more subscribers, brother, if I still had guns, I'd flex them. I told you guys, I am all dad bod, man. All dad bod. Thank you, Tina. I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna tell you, here's the super awkward thing. Back when I was a competitor, right? I actually did some things where I had photos that I had to sign. And so imagine sitting there with your wife as you sign a photo of your half naked self for another woman. It's like an awkward thing, you know what I'm saying? But my wife was a fitness person as well, so she kind of gets it. But it's a little weird where you're like, this doesn't quite seem right. Can you look away? But it is all fun. It is all fun stuff. Nova Blast is in the house. How you doing? What does it say? The comic book community is very well. Man, I'm telling you, when I came into the comic book community, the digital comic book community, if you will, at the end of 2017 into 2018, I found it to be very welcoming as well. You know, it's cool to be, friends with people that you will probably never ever meet. But you're still getting to know them, even though it's completely virtual. But it is like Cheers, right? I think it's like Cheers. Like you show up in chats and people are like, hey, how you doing? I know you. It's such a wonderful, wonderful feeling to be part of this comic book community. And so I hope that that it continues to grow, that it continues to be strengthened by more people coming into the hobby, and that we continue to be super positive and honest and transparent with people, because I think that all of those things are wonderful things that make for a really good community, whether it be real or virtual. So what does it say? I don't buy reprints either with either. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. But again, it's one of those things that some people like the reprints, and I'm like, hey, more power to you. If that's what you want to do, I'm cool with it. But if you ask me my opinion, I actually don't do reprints. It doesn't mean that I don't have any, right? But I don't go out of my way to actually go to buy the reprints and things like that. But everyone has their lane. Everyone has their lane, and I think you would probably agree with that, bro. So all good. Scrolling down through some of the comments here, blah, 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 blah. So CGC has posted stories on their IG showing McFarlane signing and sending out messages to some of the people. Yeah, man. So what was cool is, I don't know if you guys saw this in the story the other day. When they first started posting some of those things, I sent Brittany a message. Brittany at CGC, I was like, hey, are you at the Todd signing? She messaged me back and she was like, not only am I at the Todd signing, I'm running the thing. And so she and I were having a couple of discussions around like how that was going and all that kind of stuff. And then there was a really funny skit that they actually posted up on, I think it was either on Todd's page or CGC Comics on Instagram. And it was basically Todd harassing the graders and the folks at CGC. He was like, I'm here at 7 a.m. None of the people from CGC are here. So he's like walking the hall, putting notes up on their doors. And it was incredibly funny. It was incredibly funny. So shout out to Todd McFarlane, shout out to Brittany at CGC and CGC itself for doing such, I think, a really, really awesome service for the comic book community. Yes, they're making money and all that kind of stuff, but it's perfectly fine. But they're doing something really awesome, and they're allowing us a little bit of some behind the scenes of that, which I think is really fun. I think it's really fun. And if you sent books in, you're probably enjoying it. You may actually see your book shown up there, which I think is really cool. Luis, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. What does it say? I'm kicking myself for missing out on the CGC McFarlane signing. I hope they do another one. My guess is that they will, man. My guess is that they will actually do this again, possibly for some other creators. Jim Lee would be dope. Jim Lee would be dope. I might actually have to get in on that one. I'm like, Brittany, can I come down and hang out with Jim Lee at the office? I'll move boxes and everything. What is this? What is this? Wife catch it. Oh, okay. I think you guys are having a little bit of conversation right there. So yeah, I mean, again, this is a great point. The great thing about the reprints is most of the time they're only $1. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Scrolling down, shops and cons, great for getting into fun conversations with random people. I love this community, says James Tomlinson. I could not agree more, bro. I could not agree. Comic Mike, how you doing? So for those that are coming into the room late, I basically wanted to make everyone aware that Comixology is having a thing right now where you can actually get 30 days of free access to Comixology, where you have ability to check out 20,000 comics from Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, and others. These are floppies, graphic novels, and manga. And so if you head over to Comixology.com/unlimited, you can actually sign up for this thing where you can actually get, again, 30 days free access to 20,000 comics. I don't know if this is new or not. I became aware of it this morning based upon the conversation we were having last night about the House of X Powers of 10. I wanted to raise the flag. I do not know if House of X and Powers of 10 are actually available on Comixology right now. But again, it's free access to a lot of comics. I think it's a great opportunity to check it out. And no, I'm not getting anything from Comixology. But if you guys are listening, I welcome you as a sponsor. Jim Lee will be signing in Orange County this Friday. Man, he's down there, right? He's right in Berkeley, man. I used to live in the Berkeley area, but I still want to meet Jim. I still want to meet Jim as like a fan, right? As like a fan, right? Just to shake the man's hand, have a brief conversation with him. That would be really, really cool. So I don't know if it's for new accounts. I don't know if there was any restrictions, to be honest with you. I actually don't have Comixology, so I could not answer that. So I don't know. But you have to have, I think, an Amazon account in order to get the 30 days for free. I would definitely say head over to Comixology.com/unlimited and read some of the fine print. Because I don't know some of the details, bro. But if you find out, if you go over there, you see it, come back to the chat, shout out, let me know what's up. Joa, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. Met Jim Lee years ago and had him sign some X-Men issues. Also pulled out a Gears of War variant that he did. Wow. That's cool when you can actually surprise them, right? I pull out, what was it? Samurai Santa. Be like, boom. Samurai Santa, sign it, bro. What is this? Donnie Cage just did a signing today for CBCS. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, I think it's great when creators in the industry, right? Because I consider CBCS and CGC industry, right? When they can actually partner up to do some stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's not this adversarial relationship, when they can find a way to actually work together, because both are needed, right? Creators are needed. And in my opinion, third-party grading services are also needed. So it's nice to see when folks can actually make some magic happen. St. Louis in the house. Shout out Edwardsville, and spend a lot of time in that area of the country. So shout out to them. Scrolling down through the names here. What is this? Reggie, I've met Jim Lee, and he is a down-to-earth dope guy. The book he signed is the only yellow label I have, and it will never be sold because it's about the memory, not the value. That's what's up. That's the thing is I've heard about him, is that he is a very humble guy. You know, there are people that you have a perception of that doesn't necessarily match the reality of who they are as people. But everything I've ever heard about Jim Lee is that he's a super nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Super nice guy. So it's one of those things where, you know, I don't want to be, 30 years from now trying to meet Jim Lee. You know what I'm saying? I want it like I had to do with Stan Lee. No relation. I actually want to try to meet to Jim when I'm young and when he's young. You know what I'm saying? So it might be a really cool thing. I actually had an opportunity to meet him at WonderCon in 2019, but I took a nap, so I missed him. I needed the nap. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I need to do some family related things. My kids are actually cleaning up the outside area here in what we call their toy room, because I'm actually going to put up a 2-story bounce house. My wife and I are the best parents ever. Technically, my wife is. I piggyback. I came home from work one day. It was raining for like a couple of weeks, and she had actually put the bounce house up inside the house, and the kids just had a blast. And so whenever the weather is bad outside, we try to still do the same thing. But it was her idea. I completely piggybacked and will oftentimes take credit for it. But there's a chance that she could be outside the room listening. So I want to be, I don't want to go so jammed up. For everyone that actually placed an order for like box cutters, t-shirts, comics, I'm actually going to head to the post office very soon to drop all those things off. It is MLK Day, so things will be a little bit delayed, but they are going to be going to the post office today. So hopefully you guys will enjoy your items when they actually arrive. And then as a reminder, this is the book that is actually being given away this week. This is Peanuts number 1 5.0 with white pages from 1963. Dope book. Stay tuned to the channel for the video in which I give you the phrase for that particular comic. And just as one other update I'll give you guys, the Ready, Set, Go preview show is going to be on Saturday night this coming week. Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time is when Ready, Set, Go will occur. It will not be on Sunday. It will be on Saturday. A notice is up right now, so please set your calendar so that you guys can actually join me for that show. Hopefully it will be a good one. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself out of here. If you guys need to reach me, feel free to do so at RegieCollects on Instagram, which is my preferred, or you can send me an email to Regie@regiecollects.com. Take care.